Hello, everyone. It is Janae Paylett with The Power of Pleasure, and it is Thursday. Our Facebook Lives are going to be on Thursdays. And I haven't been doing Facebook Lives in this group very often. I've been doing it in on my page. I've been actually doing it in my group. But we're going to start doing it on the business page, the Power of Pleasure page. And if you're a woman, I would highly recommend that you also join my group, which is Girlfriend Sex Talk, which is just for women and just a safe place for women to talk about sex. In this group, everybody is welcome, and I encourage everyone to share information and comments and what's going on in your sex life. So this is a very special month. It's May. A lot of things are happening in May. Obviously, it's Mother's Day, so absolutely be sure that you take care of those wonderful mothers, most of whom were wonderful. Okay, we know some not so wonderful, who brought you into this world, whether they are here on this earth with us or whether just their spirit is here. It's important to remember them, doing something kind and sweet. But this is also a really important month in the world of sex and intimacy because, drum roll please, it is Masturbation Month. That's right, this is Masturbation Month. Now I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure that Masturbation Month is not a nationally recognized month, meaning that there hasn't been, it's possible that there hasn't been some sort of act of Congress that recognized Masturbation Month. If it did, that would have had to have been a couple of administrations ago. However, it is generally known that May is Masturbation Month, and that's a really beautiful intro to talking about why you should be your own lover. So I always say that in order to be a great lover to somebody else, whether it's a man or a woman or a combination, a couple of people, you also need to really know yourself and be a lover to yourself. Understanding what you want, what you desire, knowing what really turns you on and what turns you off can often be explored in a really safe place by yourself. It's awesome to have a partner to be with you as well, who can help you explore some of your desires and some of your fantasies and some types of touches that you want. But it's also incredibly powerful and healing to be your own lover. You know, I work with a lot of people, especially women with sexual abuse and trauma. Seems like more and more of those, there's both more and more abuse and trauma, and then more and more people are noticing and recognizing me as somebody who can really help them once they've done some of their healing and recovery work and guide them into a safe place to be able to start exploring their sexuality. And we always, always, always start with exploring our own sexuality and starting to touch ourselves and become our own lover and feel what our body wants and what our body desires. And a lot of us have a lot of blocks around masturbation for a lot of different reasons. We've gotten very negative messages around masturbation. I would say typically men are not, do not have as much, some do though, masturbation shame as women. A lot of women have a lot of masturbation shame because we have a lot of discomfort with touching our genitals. And many of us, both men and women, have had as children, we had like our hands brushed away or hit, or something negative or shameful was said to us when we were 2 or 3 years old, when we started touching ourselves and experiencing some pleasure. And that causes us to be disconnected with our sexuality and not be comfortable with touching ourselves. And that is a process to unpack. And if that's something that you are really experiencing, then I really want to encourage you to have a look at my relationship and intimacy blueprint, or read my book, Living an Orgasmic Life, and focusing on the chapter and the exercises where we talk about our sexual blueprints, and we also talk about shame, and specifically genital shame, and really understanding, wow, what were some of the messages, what were some of the things that might have happened to me that made me feel uncomfortable. And once you have a better understanding of that, and you can start to work through that and accept that that came from somebody else, not your beliefs, but somebody else's beliefs, then you can start to have a different relationship with your body and with masturbation and self-loving. And I also want to say that I am not a huge fan of the term masturbation. I feel like masturbation, I don't know, it just has this like very negative connotation. And I like to call it a self-loving practice, because really when we are masturbating, we are loving ourselves. And what's really important in loving ourselves, and a way to be able to heal our own issues with sex, is to be able to love all of our bodies. So often we're just like, we do this in sex too, you guys. It's not just in masturbation and self-loving. We're just focused on the genitals. Let me just get him off. Let me just get her off, and then we can have sex and be done with it, and it's over. And we have our orgasm, we have our climax, we're happy. But we're really missing out on a big way in which we heal our relationship with our own sexuality and intimacy, which is by touching all of our bodies. I like to say, and this is definitely true for women, that a woman's body, her entire body, is orgasmic, right? And this is true for men as well. Look, we have nerve endings all over our bodies. And, stimulation of other erogenous zones can cause a lot of arousal. And when we just focus on our genitals, we are really, we are missing, if you will, the bigger picture of feeling the different, allowing the different nerve endings in our body to start to get warmed up and aroused. And also, and this is especially true for women's arousal, women warm up, or we get aroused from the outside in. So we actually need to touch our arms and touch our legs. And maybe before we even do that, like get into our body, put some music on, move around. With men, I often have them do like push-ups and something really strong and powerful to start to move the adrenaline and get it going, because adrenaline is part of what happens as we start to get aroused. So a self-loving practice is an all-encompassing practice of loving every part of your body, and then starting to notice, oh, like when I touch a particular part of my body, what happens? Do I feel sensation? Am I feeling a chill bump? Like after